Good morning. Good Saturday morning. Glad to have you with us. David Keever along with Mike Powell, Brett Keever. Talk sports the next couple hours. Maybe some other topics. A little music.
Yeah, we lost two great ones this past week.
Brian Wilson.
And Sly Stone.
Sly Stone, that's right.
Sly and
earlier
the family,
in the week.
They were both 82, which is...
Wow. That's a good life.
Yeah.
Good morning, Monty. Miles Teller from Johnson City, Tennessee. The whole family tuning in, he says, this morning from Johnson City. That's a nice area. I'll just say that. I've only been once or twice, but I remember it being a very nice area up in Johnson City. What's that, 2 hours, Monty? 2 hour ride maybe from Lincoln to get to Johnson City. Played some softball there before. Let's see. Congratulations to the Red Sox, he says. I had a question I was going to throw out there this morning, and I don't know, Monty. You did. I know. I saw your you replied. Todd Cochran and his wife Micah got to go to Fenway, and we're at Fenway last night for that game. It's hard to believe that the Yankees and Red Sox can play to a 2-1 extra inning game. You just usually see more offense.
Yep.
See. Mike Painter says, good morning, STG. Sorry I missed y'all this morning. Well, I wondered about that, Mike. He said, we've been busy. Well, that's not always a good thing.
No.
When the police department has been busy. He said about 2.5 hours to get there, and he said definitely jealous of Todd this weekend getting to go to that series. But my thought last night was when Judge had – I didn't watch the game in its entirety, but I did see bits and pieces. But when Judge – hit the home run in the ninth inning. He had struck out 3 times, and in the ninth inning, with a 1-0 deficit for the Yankees, Judge hit a home run to tie it, send it to extra innings. I would like to know the real numbers. How many wins the Yankees would have this season if Judge was not on the team? Now, I don't know their record. I'm not looking at the standings or anything right now. But I'm going to say you'd have to take away at least 10. I mean, they didn't win last night, but he kept them in the game. They could have won after he got them in the game. But I bet he's responsible directly, wouldn't you think, for at least 10 wins? I mean, what's their record, Brett?
42-26.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe Monty will disagree with me. The rest of that lineup is not a World Series lineup.
Judge is hitting .390.
But when you've got him in there, he says 15 wins. He says 15 less, probably, if he's not on the team. That's a lot. Isn't that some kind of stat now in baseball?
Yeah, the wins above replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it on this page I'm looking at.
And he says depends on. He says at the same time he says it depends on his replacement. Yeah, that's true. But if you had to put the replacement off somebody that's on the roster right now, that probably wouldn't be good.
And I don't really know exactly how to interpret that stat. It says Judge is leading baseball at 5.6 wins above replacement.
Yeah. Who came up with that?
And I don't know if that means if he's just out of the lineup and the average player is in his spot, or if it means somebody on the Yankees is in his spot,
guy, or
like if they didn't have him but still had Juan Soto. I mean, I don't know what the replacement is.
What I wonder, and I don't know why the Red Sox didn't even go after this guy, but when Boston lost Casas, who I'm not a huge fan of over at first base anyway, if he was as good as he thinks he is, he would be Judge. But when he went down with an injury, why is Anthony Rizzo not on a roster somewhere? The Yankees didn't even re-sign him to come back. Can you tell me who the Yankees' first baseman is? Right off the top of your head?
Ben Rice. Is that the first
that who
baseman?
It is? So they went with youth.
Yeah.
But Rizzo,
I only know that because I saw him play the Dodgers last weekend a couple times. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to name that. But
Lenny says, good morning, STG.
Hey.
As Mike slurps the coffee. I'll be doing that
How does that sound coming through the mic?
Like it better be good. Goldschmidt. Okay. I understand Goldschmidt. Did Goldschmidt
Oh, yeah,
play
he's a
last
first
night?
baseman.
Did he play last night? I can't remember him. Now, like I said, I didn't see it all, so I don't even know if he got an at bat last night or if he was in the lineup or is he out injured. But I don't remember his name.
I think. Let's see. I thought he was playing.
Yeah. Goldschmidt is.
He led off. He went 0 for 4.
He's a proven player. He's a perennial all-star, and he also is probably a few years younger than Rizzo.
So I guess him and Ben Rice, maybe they take turns playing first. Goldschmidt's 37.
37? And what is Rizzo?
I wouldn't think he's
Rizzo
older than that.
Really?
No, I wouldn't think so.
But the thing about Rizzo, I would say that Boston should have picked him up. You know, when their first baseman goes down, Rizzo. I mean, Boston has struggled with defensive play at first base, not just the hitting. They've struggled with defensive play at first. And
Rizzo's 35.
Rizzo's one of a kind, so he's 2 years younger. Good morning, Mike Devine. Mike Devine says, I believe Rizzo had a pretty bad concussion and was having long-term effects of that. I hadn't even heard that, so that would explain a lot of it.
Yeah, maybe he was forced into retirement.
Monty also says Rizzo 35, so he's actually younger than Goldschmidt. If obviously there is a young 37, so if Goldschmidt is 37, to me he don't look it or play like it, you know. But there again, I just wondered why. I mean, that makes good sense if that is the case. If he's got issues with.
So it says
memory.
the wins above replacement stat is. It estimates how many more or fewer wins a player is worth to their team compared to a hypothetical replacement level player.
Yeah.
So I guess just if it's judged, then it's
that.
just the average, I guess the average major league center fielder.
Monty, do you have a network where you get to watch the Yankees every day? I know you're a fan, big fan. The whole family, that Moss Teller clan, they're big time.
Cal Raleigh's
Yankee
sixth
fans. That goes way back.
WAR this year.
Cal Raleigh. I got a message this week from Denny Hoover about Cal Raleigh, about some of the stats. You know, he's the one guy that I have ever seen in person at any level hit a home run from the right-handed side of the plate
and the
left in the same game. And he did it against East Lincoln when he was at Smoky Mountain High. And I'm just going to try and find you real quick what Denny sent me the other day about Mr. Raleigh. He said that he's the first catcher in now I don't know who does all this math and stuff, but they got stats for everything, especially in baseball. He's the first catcher to have 26 home runs and 7 stolen bases by the All-Star break. That is a big man to have 7 stolen bases.
Yeah.
7 stolen bases.
I'm more shocked by that, definitely, than the 26 home runs. He's got to be the biggest. Him or Judge, one has to be the biggest baseball players in Major League Baseball right now. But he says that one more stolen base will break the Mariners' record for a catcher in a season. Well, catchers aren't usually known for stealing bases anyway, so, yeah, it wouldn't take much to break those records. But for him to already have 7 is very impressive, especially at his size. He also won the Platinum Glove last season. Just some food for thought. And he says, hope you find it interesting. Proud of North Carolina boys that played in Area 4 Legion. Yes, so there you go, Mike. A good segue into Legion, which we'll get into here in just a little bit. Monty says Rizzo, yes, sir. I don't understand it totally. Rizzo is fantastic is the way it looks to me. Goldschmidt has led off 22 games this year. So he's led off at batting leadoff. Is that what you're telling me, or he started 22 games?
No, he well, I guess he leads off.
He don't seem like a leadoff
part time. Yeah, well, that's where he was yesterday. He went 0 for 4.
Okay, so he did play last night in that game. Like I said, I didn't get to see it all last night, but I did watch
Well, he's hitting 308,
bits and pieces.
so that's probably why he's leading off.
Yeah.
Because he gets on base.
Yeah. Has he played anybody other than the Cardinals? Did he play with somebody
He started
else?
with Arizona.
Okay. Arizona, are they one of those? They're pretty good right now, so I really don't want to pick them too much. But are they one of those farm teams like the Pirates? Is what came to mind there. That so many of these teams.
Well, no, they'll
these
sign.
days-
They'll sign
Yeah.
somebody for big money.
and just
every
made
once
the
in a
World
while.
Series last year or year before.
2 years
2
ago.
years ago
when
in the World
Texas beat them.
Yeah, yeah. Money said 22 times he's led off. Yeah.
It was the Dodgers last year.
Oh, that's right.
Seems like you forgot, but I hadn't.
You shouldn't, and neither should Monty, right? Yes, it was. What's the chances? Would you take those two teams again or the field?
The field.
It's a lot more balanced than I thought it was going to be. It really
Well, and
is.
the Dodgers have that. I mean, they got so many pitchers that are hurt right now.
Are they even ahead of the Giants?
They're tied.
In the
Hey,
are they?
6-2 last night, Giants, baby, over the Dodgers.
Was it?
Yeah.
But if you look at the rosters, are the Giants as talented?
No,
No?
not even close.
So
no.
what is it, Brett?
And that's
Injuries?
first time they've met this year.
How many times do they play each other this year? Because I heard them talking last night.
I think it's 13.
Yeah, last night they said the Yankees and Red Sox would only have another home series apiece against each other. I mean, that's after this one, and I think this is the first time they've met. I mean,
Well, you
they
get
just
two.
met in
You
in
get
Yankee
two home
Stadium.
series against your division
That's it.
teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
play
just,
13 games
just
now.
a couple years ago, it was 19.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
do you like
19.
better?
That
Doesn't matter.
doesn't really matter.
Wash.
Okay, we know that NFL you play your division twice.
Yep.
How does the NBA? You only play non-division teams twice, right?
None.
East and West. I
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
East and West, you play the. If you're West, you play the East teams just twice, home and home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should it be more weighed for division play, or? Don't get me wrong. Now, I don't ever want to see the interleague play go away. I love that.
No, yeah,
I
I
think
don't
that's
either.
brought a lot.
And that's
lot to
what there's
baseball.
more of now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay with it.
There's more of that since they dropped so many of the division games.
I'm going to guess that the networks, though, that for some reason, and I'm one of them, I'm in this, they love showing the Red Sox and Yankees,
Yeah.
no matter when it is. So it takes away a little bit of the networks.
Well, that's like Dodgers and Padres now.
Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
rivalry, and
Yep.
they just played last weekend or this past week for the first time this year.
And don't you think that should be Dodgers and Giants?
Well, it's going to be whichever one's more
Yeah.
competitive, really.
Yeah, and I can see that. All of baseball actually has – I know the parity don't go top to bottom because you can – I mean, even the Rockies are playing better now, though. You know, they won a series.
They beat my Giants the other night.
But it seems like baseball is a little more even than I thought it was going to be going into the season. Who do you think – who's the surprise team so far in the Major League season as far as a good way, a surprise on the good side? Because
Well, yeah. You got to love the Tigers, right? I mean, is
yeah,
that a
but they kind of
surprise
built
there?
up to it.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, that's
right?
not really a huge surprise.
But, well, maybe the record might be, 21 games over 500
Yep.
at this point, 46-25.
The Cubs. I'd say that's a big
Yeah, where did
surprise.
they come from? I mean, it hasn't been real long
Yeah, probably
since
the
they won the
Cubs.
World Series, but they seem to go right back, to the bottom for a year or two there. And here they are, 42-28 on the season. I don't know. The rest, that West, I mean, Mike, that division you're in right now with the Giants, Dodgers, Padres, when your third-place team is 38-30,
Yeah.
that's pretty stout.
And even Arizona's above
Arizona's
500.
over 500, yes. And you know what? It seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, it seems to me like Arizona usually is even better after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm, could be.
That they play better baseball in recent history anyway. So that division's still a long way from being decided when you've got all 4 teams within 4 of the 5. Rule out the Rockies, but within 5.5 games of each other. Are the Braves the biggest surprise on the other side? 30-38.
Yeah, a horrible start. And
they did have a bad start. Didn't they lose the first 7?
Yeah. And they just hadn't really recovered from that. I mean, they made some ground up, but 30-38, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say them and Baltimore.
What has made the Mets so much better? Obviously, the addition of Soto is one thing, but is there more? I mean, the Mets are 45-25.
Yeah, they're looking.
They're in a tough division, but they got a good.
Yeah.
They're first in all of baseball in ERA.
And see,
that makes a difference.
And see, the first thing comes to me in mind is the offense. So
they're first in runs allowed, 5th in opponents' batting average, 2nd in home runs allowed. So yes, they're pitching and defense.
It's not so much been their hitting. They're only 14th in batting average, 248. But that's not bad in the majors, is it? The 248 team batting average these days.
Who are their starters? Who are their key starters in that rotation? Brett, do you know right off the top of your head?
They're not going to be any big names.
Really? And it was a few years ago, 5 years ago, they had 2 of the biggest names, right? What were those?
Well, they had DeGrom, Syndergaard, and Harvey all at one time.
Yeah.
David Peterson is 5-2. Clay Holmes 7-3. Kodai Senga 7-3. Tyler McGill is 5-4, and Griffin Canning is 6-2.
So those you just named right there all have winning
starters.
records, right? I think 5-4 might have been the worst record.
Yeah.
Out of that, wow, impressive, and they do have some bats,
And their bullpen's really good too.
Well, if you're going to win it all, you got to have a pretty good bullpen to not just to win it, but even to get there. Philadelphia, they're still hanging in there though. 4.5 games out is nothing at this point of the year. So, and they're kind of getting overlooked, it seems like, a bit. The Phillies are. Schwarber's still hitting leadoff, biggest human in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Bat leadoff consistently, I would say. Mike, you're right about the Tigers, though. The Tigers have a 9-game lead in that division. I mean, they're
pretty much over.
And that's good to see. That's a good baseball town. Always has. A good sports town. It always has.
And their fortunes have been up in the last few years when you figure what the Lions have done as well, right?
Yes. And the Pistons even made a turn.
Yeah.
Not so sure about the hockey team, Brett. Did they they're one of the best franchises in the history of the league.
They've been down past
the Red Wings, but
8 to 10 years.
Wasn't exactly sure. And I stand correct. I'm going to correct myself. I said, are the Braves the biggest disappointment? Yes, but that's limited to the National League. The Orioles may be the biggest.
An absolute
28-40
dumpster fire.
And that's another division that's hard enough to compete in. And if you can't, 28-40 is not going to get you there when the Yankees are sitting on top 42-26. That's a 14-game deficit for the Orioles, and we're not to the All-Star break yet. And I really don't see them. I don't know what to attribute it to, but I really don't see them overcoming it and getting any better this season.
They're 24th in runs scored and 25th in runs allowed. So they're
out of 30.
They're bad at everything.
Yeah.
Consistency. That's what you want, right? Bad at everything. And Boston, Boston is in 4th place, but they're just one win below the 500 mark.
Yeah, they're minus 83 in differential between runs scored and allowed.
Yeah,
so
that's the Orioles. Yes, they are.
that may be the worst in the majors.
Well, no, it's not.
No, the Athletics are worse.
And you better look at the Rockies too, just
yeah,
to be
of
safe.
course. Yeah, the Rockies.
Yeah, I see that the A's are worse, and then the.
Oh yeah, Rockies minus 209. Oh boy.
Well, when you've only won 13 games at this point, 13-56. They're making the White Sox look good from last year.
7-27 at home.
Yeah, the Rockies have allowed 437 runs.
Oh boy.
Well, Oakland's not far behind, 423, but nobody else is even close to those two.
Now, when will when will their new arena be ready?
You mean Sacramento?
Sacramento.
When will Sacramento be ready to play in Vegas? I don't know.
I still can't imagine baseball in Vegas. It's so hot there. But I know there'll be obviously a dome, right?
Yeah, I would think so. The NFL's there, and it's in a dome.
It's in a dome, so yeah.
Let's see. Lenny says, this was before this season. Cal Raleigh was the quickest Mariner to 100 home runs ever. That includes Ken Griffey Jr. and A-Rod.
Wow. With those two legendary names,
the quickest
he's the
to 100.
first.
Yeah, how about that?
It says that Las Vegas Stadium projected opening 2028.
Oh, my gosh.
So they got to play 3 years in Sacramento.
Wow. Well, and that's one of the ballpark holds what?
14,000.
14. And Tampa, where they're playing right now over there in the.
It's less than that.
It
I
is.
think.
It's like 10.
Yeah.
I think it's around 10. But now that's a 1-year thing, right? They're just trying to get.
It should be
Tropicana. Yeah. I don't know if they were trying to get Tropicana back to like it was. That wouldn't be. They need to do a little more than that. But that was due to the hurricane, right? The damage from the hurricane. I don't know much about the park though that in Sacramento. I think I have watched a couple innings, but not enough to really know the ins and outs of that ballpark. And
it says Tropicana expected to be ready for 2026. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. They were already really low in attendance. Don't you think a year away is going? You think that'll make it worse, or you think people will be excited to come back?
I
when they
can't get
come
a feel
back?
for that either. I mean,
well, you'd think it would be depending on how good the team is.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's not been that way.
No, because they've been good. They've been pretty
good.
consistent.
I mean they've been a playoff team off and on, and they still don't have the draw. And the Marlins. I mean, even in a city like Miami, what's their average attendance per game? I mean, it can't be very high either.
8,000 maybe 10. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't looked this year to see, and they're a decent team right now. Are they not?
It says it was 13 last year.
Well, I say they're a decent team. No, they're not. They're 26-41, holding up everybody else in the National League East. Even Washington is ahead of them. So
Miami's third from the bottom in attendance, behind, or I guess ahead of Tampa and the A's.
How many World Series has the Marlins won? Just 2?
Yeah.
Okay. It seemed like they'd be bad World Series champ, bad World Series
yeah.
champ. But now that's been years, right, since the last one? At least 10 years or not? Since
oh yeah,
I would think. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So if you put am I leaving one out? Is there another?
97 and 03.
There's no Jacksonville baseball. So 97 and 03?
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time since, I still wonder in my head, will we lose teams in Major League Baseball? Will we start?
In other words, it will contract rather than expand?
Yeah. Well, there was talk of it at one time. Even the Minnesota Twins were mentioned.
Are you kidding? The Twins? Harmon Killebrew?
Yeah.
Jim Cat?
Your favorite sports name?
Yeah.
Jim Cat. Who's Jim Cat? I still think of Kirby Puckett.
Yeah.
Kirby
and
Puckett.
those teams and
Kent Herbeck.
Herbeck pushing. That's what I was going to say. What was the first baseman's name that pushed Ron Gant off the base?
Yeah.
And got an out in the World Series, and that's who it was, Kent Herbeck.
Who was their great hitter, leadoff guy? Probably had a 330, 340 lifetime average.
How far back?
I'm talking way back in Killebrew.
That would be not Rod Carew. He played not Tony Oliva.
Was it Tony Oliva?
I don't know. I can't remember. Now I'm just trying to think of it off the top of my head.
Rod Carew.
Twins lead. Carew was Angel.
Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carew played for the Twins.
Did he?
Yeah, it was. Maybe it was Carew.
Yeah, but how many years? Wasn't that the last part of his career?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
The
No, 67 to 78.
Oh, is that all? So maybe that is.
But
even
that's
thinking
pretty
about it.
long. That's
It is,
11
yeah.
years.
And then
Yeah.
the Angels, 79 to 85.
Okay.
So it was the reverse of what you thought.
He was a
it was.
career
It was.
328 hitter.
Yeah, I knew
so
he was around
maybe that was
330.
him. I don't know if he
career.
let off or not, but that
Yeah.
could have been him.
How many people's hitting 328 right now, or better in the major leagues? Is Judge still up there flirting with 400?
390.
Yeah,
Is he?
390, man.
Yeah. And that's even after the 3 strikeouts last night. What? I mean, but really, I mean, if you think about it, Major League Baseball, if you go 1 for 4 and you're hitting 390, you're not going to drop much. I mean, you might drop a point or so that night, but
Yeah.
and then you go out there and have a 2-hit or a 3-hit night, and bam, it's right back up there, or even more. You think he could hit 400? Do you think he could end the season at 400? There's a lot of walks, and walks help you.
I think he could, but I don't see it
It's
happening.
so
just
hard over
'cause
the course.
you go,
of
you have a
6
week where you
months.
go
Yeah,
0 for 4, 3 straight games or something, and
Yeah.
then it's hard to.
hard to get it
And if you-
back.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
hard to
seems
get
like
back.
if you can't stay at that 390 level or better, and you get down a little bit, you just can't get back.
What's the second best batting average in Major League Baseball? If he's hit, you said he's at 390.
Yeah.
Now. Well, just last week he was at like 399. So,
Jacob Wilson
oh my goodness,
of the A's,
Wow. Of the
three
A's.
367.
367
Yeah.
is second in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Don't know a thing about him.
No.
I don't
I
either.
did not know
No.
a thing about him.
He's 23.
And you know why? Because Major League Baseball don't focus on the batting averages anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's-
It focuses on the
Yeah,
power
he's
hitters.
hit.
Yeah,
he's
that
hit
used
8
to be
home
the
runs,
thing.
Mm-hmm.
8 home runs, 38 RBI.
That's what they look at. So he's hitting 360, whatever you said there. Oh, but he's only got 8 home runs.
Only 16 strikeouts
Wow.
in 65 games.
Wow.
That's getting it
Yeah,
done.
that's Tony Gwynn like.
Yeah.
Um,
Judge, 72 strikeouts.
72 strikeouts. Well, Judge is going to strike out quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
Yeah. Yo, I
trying
know.
to
Yeah.
criticize him. I'm
Right.
just saying
Compared to that,
Just
yeah. That's a handful.
how few the other guy has. Freddie Freeman's third at 341.
Contact guy. One thing about a contact guy, you got to make contact before you can hit a home run, you know?
Yeah.
This whole strikeout or homer thing kind of started really with the race in the 90s, didn't it? Well, I guess the doping era,
Yeah.
too, with McGuire and Sosa.
Yeah, that's the ones I thought you was going to mention right off the bat.
Yeah.
McGuire and Sosa, but wasn't it fun?
Oh, yeah. That revived baseball.
It was fun to follow that race. Let's see. Lenny says, and 2 of the Mets' best starting pitchers from last year, Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas, haven't pitched yet this year. Wow. But both are coming back soon, maybe this week. That's a pretty good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
You already got a really good staff, and you're going to add maybe their 2 best back in. I want to read you guys something real quick I got from Rodney Willis this week, if it's not too hard for me to find. And I was in the middle of something, and he probably thought I cut him off or whatever, but he asked me a question. And he always comes up with these random baseball questions. I don't know where they come from. But he said, who are the only 2 Major League Baseball players in history with at least 300 home runs and less than 500 strikeouts? Because your power hitters are usually striking
out a lot. Ooh.
And both of them's names.
How many homers? 300?
At least 300 and fewer than 500 strikeouts. And the first thing I always bet when it comes to a strikeout question, or always not bet, but answer, was Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
But that wasn't.
No, I don't think he hit that many home runs.
He wasn't that big of a homer guy.
Well, that's the part I was. He probably struck out less than 200 times. So.
Yeah.
But I did worry about the home runs with that answer, and it was wrong. But you have to go back, 50s to get these guys. And Monty should be all over this.
Ted Williams?
No. Wrong team.
Oh.
Both of them are known for the same team.
Joe DiMaggio?
Yeah.
Jolton Joe.
Joe DiMaggio, 361 home runs, struck out 369. And the other, I would have never got, just because I don't look at him that way. I did not know he hit 358 home runs while striking out only 414. Yogi Berra.
You look at Jolton Joe, and he was not a big man. I mean, you got one where he generated pretty good power, like you say, a lot of homers.
Yeah.
I was trying to see.
Do you remember Jim Wynn?
Yeah.
Astros,
Mm-hmm.
Small guy, a lot of power.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn.
It's all in the wrist, right?
Yeah.
Only hit 135 home runs.
135.
Yeah.
What was his career batting average?
Only 135.
Only 135.
I wish I'd hit 135 home runs in the majors. Don't you, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
338.
338. Wow.
338.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
He struck out 434 times.
Here's a trivia question I do not know the answer to. Who holds the highest batting average in a career in Major League Baseball?
Ooh.
Now, we know Ted Williams was the last one to hit
400.
But who? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer.
I would say what names that come to mind: Ted Williams, Ichiro. I think his was pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn's probably up there.
Got to be up there. Gwynn does.
Yeah. Pete Rose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what
He's
his would
be.
But we know who the all-time hit leader is.
Yeah.
So let's just save that. Let's take our first time out.
The thing about Ichiro, he's always slapping singles, and you don't really think about it, do you? But that adds up.
Yeah, it adds up.
Just like any other hit.
Yes, it is. I'll go first with the lyrics this morning. I got mine ready.
Ooh, you must be confident in your.
Rodney answers, and he's probably right because he's probably got a baseball almanac right in front of him. But he's probably right. And we hadn't said this guy's name yet either.
Did he go back a long time?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Way back.
Yeah.
Way back.
Former North Lincoln pitcher.
Ooh.
Right?
North Lincoln.
Had the exact same name. But here's your first lyrics of the morning. Got those highway blues. Can you hear my motor running? Back in a moment.
Dr. John Cloninger III is celebrating 25 years of practice here in Lincolnton. Dr. Cloninger's pedigree originates from his father, mother, and uncle and continues with his brother and cousin. The name is an icon in the field of dentistry. Dr. Cloninger has dedicated himself to his patients and community and continues to lead by example. He has heard his whole life, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He wants to sustain the family name and proceed by offering the best reasonable treatment possible. Dr. John Cloninger III, 904 Doncha Drive in Lincolnton. Call 704-735-0765.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Make 2025 the year you move into your new home from Key Builders of Lincoln. Let Key Builders help you make your dream home a reality and do it this year. Visit them online at keybuildersnc.com and check out their photo galleries. They are a licensed general contractor with over 20 years of building history and experience. Make 2025 the year of your new home. See your dream come true at Key Builders, 1459 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook too.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for great deals on the items you need. Is it time to freshen up your lawn? Select potting soil from Miracle Grow and Stay Green. Buy 3 bags, get 3 bags free. Need to feed your lawn? Get a free bag of Scott's Green Max with a purchase of Bag Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action. Freshen up your exterior with select exterior paint and stain. Buy 2, get 1 free. All offers good while supplies last. Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton, your go-to stop for all things around the house.
You guys having a party too?
Yeah, just having some friends over for the game. Is that safe?
More plugs, more power.
You're all ready for the game. 4 new outlets, all with USB, and the projector's hooked up to a new dedicated line.
Oh, heck no.
What happened to the game? He likes to do it all himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's Bob Malarkey.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Zeus Auto Repair and Performance at 1122 South Aspen Street in Lincoln now have 4 North Carolina licensed state inspectors on site. Need automotive work? They are the best. Oil changes, brakes, car detailing, and suspension work. You'll be in and out before you know it. Stop in and see the guys at Zeus Auto Repair and Performance at 1122 South Aspen Street in Lincoln. Hours of business, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 704-240-3061. Zeus Auto Repair and Performance.
Notary services available on site as well.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Saturday morning. I'm not going to say beautiful Saturday morning. A lot of wet weather this week.
Oh, boy.
And still wet when we got up this morning. Rain overnight, thunderstorms overnight.
We had the sun briefly as we went on the air, but now it's disappeared.
You know, I get tired of looking at the weather on my phone. And
what do we got today? Thunderstorms?
It's supposed to rain 8 out of the next 7 days. Can it do that?
No, 8 days. Yeah, according to the Beatles,
8 days
you can go 8 days a week.
Yeah, I mean it. You know, every year we hear those guys say we're 4 inches below, 3 inches, whatever.
Not this year. No way.
I wouldn't think so. A lot of rain.
By the way, shout out to Bobby Smith is watching.
Good morning.
The brother of
Bobby
Richard, I assume.
No, he might say Richard's the brother.
Brother
of
him, Bobby.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was trying to find that real quick. Yeah, I look on here and it says 45% chance of rain today, 70 tomorrow, 65, 55.
Yeah.
And then a day off on Wednesday before it comes back Thursday and Friday.
Wow.
It's just
when will I be able to mow again?
I don't ever remember it this wet, honestly.
I don't either.
In
June.
Yeah, this late in the year, for sure. It just seems like it's a lot, and it is a lot.
And it's hard to keep those weeds out of everything.
I have got the lines lining up, whether it be the baseball answer or the The lyrics.
Lyrics.
Well, the career batting average isn't going to be any fun because we never saw any of them play.
Yeah. 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 Rodney said Ty Cobb.
Yeah, he is number one
of all time. But then I wanted, I was thinking like, what do you consider modern day or in our lifetime? I remember Rod Carew winning a batting title. A lot.
Yeah. Well, he's 30th on the career batting average.
When does the modern era start? I mean, that's the
today. Can't get more modern than that.
I mean, do you want to try to guess anybody else on the list?
Well, how many names do you recognize? What percentage of the names do you recognize on that list?
Half of them.
Yeah. Well, Gwen, you already told me.
He's 16th.
Pete Rose has to be on there somewhere, right? I mean,
not on the top 50.
Okay. He played a lot of games, but that don't always mean. I mean, you have to play a lot of games to get to the amount of hits he had.
And like I told you, Ichiro's not on the top 50.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of high batting averages 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But where's the proof?
Yeah, really. I mean, who kept up with those? And I mean, let's face it. Every player, no matter what the position, is advanced today.
Ty Cobb played 24 years.
How many stolen bases for Cobb?
3,000 games played. 892.
Yeah.
And Ricky Henderson's got more than that?
I don't know.
But
Does he?
Didn't he break the record?
I thought he was the all-time.
I remember him holding the base up and saying, "I am the greatest."
Well, there's one on this list right here that has more than 892.
Okay.
Billy Hamilton.
Reds, Astros. Did he play for those two teams?
I don't know. This one was born in 1866.
Oh, well. No, that's not the Billy Hamilton.
There was a Billy Hamilton that played for Reds a few years ago.
Yeah.
That was his
I didn't think
great grandson or something.
I got one for Brett. I was a Dodger fan. Brett, who was the Dodger who I know one year he stole over 100 bases? He may have been the first Dodger to do that.
Maury Wills.
Yep.
That's not for Brett. I can get that one.
You can get that one.
Tell me.
But that's way back there in the early 60s.
It is, yeah.
Wonder if Brett might know that.
I should have been quiet.
I just know the name.
Give him a chance.
Maury Wills, baby.
I
think it was 103 one year.
It popped in my head and I said it.
I had a guy named D. Gordon about 10 years ago that stole a bunch, but I don't think he got to 100. Yeah, Ricky Henderson is all-time stolen bases leader, 1406.
Yeah,
almost 500 ahead of second place.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wonder what Bo Jackson could have done in both sports, football and baseball, had he been a healthy guy his entire career. Could he have been in the Hall of Fame in two sports?
Could have been.
Probably
what one baseball play of Bo's that stands out to you?
Running up the wall.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Running up the wall.
Running up the tunnel in
running
football.
Up the tunnel
in football is the one I remember the most. Let's see. Those lyrics I gave you this morning got those highway blues. Can't you hear my motor running, flying down the road with my foot on the floor?
You got it.
Those are the Doobie Brothers. Rodney with the correct answer of the Doobie Brothers, rocking down the highway. Ned, also Doobie Brothers. He says can't pull the title, but it is rocking down the highway. Lenny says Doobie Brothers, rocking down the highway, and after that he says Maury Wills.
You got it.
I think base question.
Yeah, the Doobies are going out on tour again. That's what I heard about them.
They just don't quit.
Don't quit. Okay, who's your favorite? Pre-Michael McDonald or post? As far as the Doobie Brothers sound
for me, it's
goes.
Without Michael McDonald.
Oh yeah, I like their China Grove.
I'm probably 50-50. I respect.
He made
Michael
it softer. He made their sound a little more.
I respect him
pop.
more than you guys do as a lead man.
Yeah,
he was really terrific.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna,
he does have a great voice, but I just like their music better.
Better than Rick
before
Mitchell.
him.
Listen to the music.
Better than Rick Mitchell, Mike, on the great voice.
Yeah. Good voice, not a great voice. That's Rick Mitchell.
We hammer Rick when he's not around.
I know.
Lou Brock is whose record Ricky Henderson broke.
Yeah, okay.
At
Lou
some
Brock.
point along the way.
And Lou is, in addition to being a great player, known for what? Challenging.
Real quick, here's you a good trivia question. Who was Lou Brock's teammate after the teammate became the first ever free agent in baseball history? Oh, that's a
Kurt
good one.
Flood.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was quick.
I know.
Yeah. Kurt Flood.
Kurt Flood.
Barry Bonds, 34th all-time stolen bases. 514.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know what, right there? Okay, people would argue whether he's the best baseball player in the history of the game because of Ty Cobb and people like that.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, he's the best baseball player in my lifetime.
Yeah,
and that lifetime of mine's been pretty long.
The best one I've seen.
He's getting on up there.
I mean, you could say what you want to about steroids. Everything he did, the opponent was also taking steroids. The pitchers were taking steroids. So to me, it just all evens itself out. Barry Bonds, he had to make contact with those pitches.
Yeah.
He's just
I
the
just
best
went a little
baseball player.
farther.
Best baseball player I've ever seen.
Almost made it to 3,000 hits. He finished with 29.35.
He pretty much made McCovey Cove famous, didn't he, in San Fran?
Career batting average 298.
Lenny agrees with us on the Kurt Flood topic. Let's see. Rodney says, saw a Mets game the other day, and they said Sterling Marte was that's one of my favorite names in baseball. Sterling Marte was the current career stolen base leader in Major League Baseball. He is over 1,000 behind all-time leader Ricky Henderson. Over 1,000 behind him.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 behind Henderson. Wow. That's impressive. Terry Reinhardt this morning, amen on Barry Bonds.
All right. We're getting an amen from Terry.
Yes.
688 career intentional walks. Barry Bonds.
Wow.
688.
And a lot of those came in that season when he broke the home run.
He had 120 one year.
So how many, if you just figure out how many home runs he hit, how many at-bats per home run, he would have went over 100.
Yep.
He would have went over 100.
Well, that wasn't even the year that he had the most intentional walks.
Certainly he was the
But he did walk 177 times that year.
Mm.
You know what I'm doing today if I'm a general manager in baseball? I am signing his son, if he has one. Because Bobby was not a bad player either.
No, he wasn't.
And it
Bobby
trickled down
Bonds.
from there.
Those genes held true.
I remember some of his playing days, and he was really good. He was he was the first 30-30 guy, maybe. I don't know if he was first or not, but tell me if I'm wrong there.
I think you may be right.
He might have been the first 30-30 guy when that was a big,
That was a big
now
deal,
that's nothing.
30-30.
30-30 anymore is nothing, but yeah, I think I would find out if Barry Bonds has a son or multiple sons, and go ahead and sign those guys.
His son now might be past the
Maybe.
point of playing.
He may be. Almost, I guess he don't have a son if we haven't heard from him. I guess the Griffeys are the greatest
father-son combo duo.
The Griffeys. Who else?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I can't give it to the Boones, even though the Boones have had really good, success in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
What was the dad's name? Bob Boone played for the Phillies and other teams.
Yeah.
And you got both Aaron and what's the brother that's helping with the team now too? Aaron
Brett.
And Brett. How did I forget that name?
Yeah, how could you? Yeah, without question, the Griffeys are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you say the Alous?
Oh,
Yeah,
the Lose.
Yeah, but that wasn't
right.
father-son.
That was
three brothers.
Three brothers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There was a son, though,
Maddie.
right? There was a son. I think Felipe had a son that played. What was his name? Moises?
Moises, yeah.
Moises. Okay.
But
he was the one that Steve Bartman robbed at Wrigley. I think he was the one going over to try to make that catch. And
did Steve Bartman get a raw deal?
well, yeah, I mean,
that should be easy to answer.
He got death threats.
Absolutely got a raw deal. He did.
Yeah.
He did what every other person in that seat would have done.
Yeah.
Nobody can sit here and say no. I wouldn't have done that. Everybody goes after a ball anytime they get an opportunity.
Can we name
at a
any
Major
other
League Baseball park.
siblings and or father-son greats in any other sport? I don't know.
Terry Reinhardt says Barry Bonds was so awesome that he was walked in the first inning before.
Yeah.
There was times he was walked in the first inning of a game.
That's what I call RESPECT.
Did he not get walked one time with the bases loaded?
Yeah.
I think he got
did.
walked with the bases loaded.
The
one
ultimate
time.
compliment.
Let's see. Lenny says Kurt Flood was one of the first 30-30 guys. And I was thinking like he was the first.
He might have been.
When I first read that, I thought he was talking about the documentaries. He might be talking about that too. He's probably been on a 30-30, ESPN 30-30. Isn't that the name of that? Those documentaries?
Yep.
As
30-30.
I don't know how good Archie Manning was, but you'd have to say the Mannings were a great
Father,
father,
son. Oh,
son,
absolutely.
sons.
Archie Manning
soon to
was
be
a
grandson.
great quarterback on a bad team, right? The Aints in those days.
Yeah. So you're not going to throw LeBron and Bronny in there yet?
Not yet.
No, not quite yet.
Long way to go.
Does anybody remember the Boyers? Weren't they brothers?
Clint
and Cleet Boyer? Cleet.
Clint and
yeah.
Cleet.
One of them played third base. I remember.
Cleet for the Braves.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started seeing the Braves in person, Cleet Boyer was one of the big names on that squad. Terry says 3 times Bonds was walked with the bases loaded.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. If I'm up, okay, at what point would you not walk him with the bases loaded? If you're up 5-4.
If it's tied.
Yeah. Or what if you're up 5-4? You going to give him a chance to – I mean, the walk's going to tie it.
The walk will tie. You couldn't do it at 5-4, could you?
I don't know. I don't know. Depending on what inning it is. It might depend on what inning it is. You know, if it's in the 9th, I don't know if I could do it, pull that string. Lenny says not Flood, but Bobby Bonds. Oh, yeah, he was one of the first. Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry, I read that wrong, Lenny. Yeah, he was one of the first 30-30 guys, not Kurt Flood. Flood was just a really good player, I think he hit second for the Cardinals on those teams.
Was he during the Bob Gibson era? I think so.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Butch says Cleet and Ken.
Ken Boyer, that's right.
I don't know where I come up with Clint.
There was a race car driver named Clint.
Maybe that's what
Boyer.
it was.
Ken Boyer, yeah.
That's where I thought you were going with that when you said it. I thought maybe that was a famous
Ken. I
family.
remember now. Cleet and Ken Boyer.
Cleet and Ken.
And the Deans, he says. I guess he's talking about Dizzy Dean.
Dizzy and
Dazzy?
What was it? Don. Wait a minute.
Don Dean? Surely not.
No, that ain't right.
Dean.
Yeah, the Deans. That's right. Dizzy and whatever.
Who was the other one?
Yeah,
Butch or somebody help us out with that. I do remember Dizzy Dean.
Oh yeah,
the pitcher also did broadcasting, didn't he?
Oh heck yeah,
yeah.
This when I googled it mentions the Earnhardts, Dale and Dale Jr.
Paul,
father son.
Butch says Paul's the other Dean.
Paul Dean. Okay.
No, I do not remember him. It says who, Brett?
The Earnhardts, Dale and Dale Jr.
Yeah.
The Currys.
Yeah.
Guerreros, Vladimir and Vlad Jr.
Yeah.
Clay Matthews Sr. and Jr.
Yeah. But none of them really reached the Griffey level, right? Would you say the Griffies are still the best duo? I mean,
also the Andrettis, Mario and Michael Andretti mentioned here.
Well, how about the Barbers in football?
Tiki
and Rodney. Is it Rodney?
Rondé.
Rondé, that's right.
You get it right in a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, I get it. 1 out of 3. ABC.
Let's see. Ned says Henry Aaron, still the all-time Major League Baseball home run champion. No, he's not, Ned. Get your book out and look at the look at the stats. Barry Bonds has passed him. Also
He won't
hit tons
concede
of singles and doubles. Also hit tons of singles and doubles. Aaron was one of my favorite players. I went to Atlanta for years and seen him. He was not the player that Barry Bonds is, and I don't know anybody that would be. But says Paul. Richard says Goff, Jay, and Billy Haas. I remember those
Jay
guys.
Haas and Billy Haas.
Mm-hmm.
How about Tiger and Charlie Woods? Are they going to be one day?
Well, he also said that's what he put on here, and soon to be Woods, Charlie Woods. If I had to bet, is what he said. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. Why would he not be a good golfer?
He should be,
right?
Oh,
well, he's definitely a good golfer. I don't know how great of a professional golfer he'll be.
Lenny says the nickname was Daffy. Dizzy Dean
and Daffy Dean.
Daffy. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd want that nickname.
Sounds more like a duck.
Yeah, Dizzy. Yeah, he did broadcasting too, sponsored by Slits Beer. I'm trying to remember.
The Slits still exist.
Who his sidekick was.
Yeah.
In those days.
Now, did he do national broadcast or did he do?
No, was that? Yeah,
for
it
a
was
team?
A game of the week.
Okay.
No, I think it was national.
Well, Tony Kubek wasn't with him, was he? Because
he may have been.
See, Kubek came along with Joe Graziola. They were together.
Kubek
was
who else?
Former Yankee
former
shortstop,
Yankee
I think.
Shortstop, that's right.
But I have heard my grandparents say it, though. I've heard my grandparents say Dizzy Dean but they said the other name.
I know.
And I cannot
can't
remember.
think of his name either.
Yeah, I cannot remember.
But Dizzy was, down home, he was kind of the, who was the Dallas Cowboys quarterback? Don Meredith. He was kind of the Don Meredith of baseball, the folksy Southern drawl. Personality as much as he was.
Yeah, this does say
announcer.
his brother Paul was nicknamed Daffy.
Yeah.
Daffy and Dizzy.
What was Dizzy? Couldn't have been the real name. What was?
No, of course not.
His name was J. Hannah Dean.
Yeah. So J. Dean.
And it says also known as Jerome Herman Dean.
He picked a good one. Yeah, I'd rather be known as Dizzy.
Ned goes back to Barry Bonds and says, which Barry Bonds, the baseball player of Pittsburgh that could have been great, or the new, improved machine that was in San Francisco?
Ned going all satire on us.
Okay. Let's see. Who was pitching to him? People like Roger Clemens, steroids.
Yep.
People like, you name a pitcher. You just throw anybody.
When everybody's doing it,
you got to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
If they're going to do it, you're going to do it. Now, I'm not going to say Bonds wasn't one, maybe the ones of the starters, but everybody was doing it. Yeah. Everybody was doing it. And every single one of them with the numbers deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, this is crazy, They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. You just put it down as the steroid era if you want to, because that's what it was. Yeah. It wasn't one guy.
With organized baseball turning its head, right, for a while anyway.
Yes.
Until they just had to clean it up. There was just no other option.
Yeah. I mean, there's a long list of those guys. Let's see. We're getting ready to take our next time out. One of you guys. Lyrics.
Okay, I'll go.
All right. While you get them ready, I'm going to read another message here. This one from Butch said, Dizzy Dean did the Game of the Week. Sponsored by Falstaff.
Oh, Falstaff, not Slits. I'm sorry.
Falstaff.
I got the wrong beer brand.
And he said he did it with Pee Wee Reese.
Reese. I knew he was an infielder.
Yep.
Whoever did it, and Pee Wee was an infielder.
And Pee Wee might have done games with Kubek.
He might have. I think he did.
Or with Graziola, one of them.
Yeah,
before the other.
At the tail end of his broadcasting career, that's right. Pee Wee Reese and Dizzy Dean.
Yeah.
Falstaff.
And we know Pee Wee played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
What about Dizzy?
I don't know who Dizzy played for.
Yeah, I can't. I don't. I've probably heard, but I don't know. Was he a Cardinal? Was he a Cardinal, Butch?
I want to say he was National League.
Was he?
Cardinals, Cubs. Yeah, St. Louis Browns.
St. Louis Browns.
I bet they weren't too good.
Was that
Browns.
Did St. Louis have 2 teams at one point?
They could have. That happened a lot for a long time. And I don't know why, but you see success in one town maybe and think, well, we'll do that too. He says Dizzy Dean was a Dodger.
Okay.
Dizzy Dean was a Dodger.
He was a
Should be able to
Dodger.
remember that.
I know.
From now on. Mike's got some lyrics for us.
Okay, well, this isn't exactly classic rock, but it's classic. Okay.
Is it classy?
Yeah. I love the colorful clothes she wears.
That's good enough. We'll stop right there. See if we need more when we come back.
Buying a Bobcat is now easier than ever at West End Sales in Vale. Now get 0% APR financing. That means low monthly payments. Or you can get $1,200 instant rebates on selected models. Now is the time to buy. Like we said, it's easier than ever. Again, get 0% APR financing or get $1,200 instant rebate on selected Bobcat models at West End Sales at the Highway 1827 West intersection in Vale. Online at westendSales.com and like them on Facebook too.
The CF Moto Rev and Ride sales event is underway at Full Throttle Power Sports in Lowell. Get financing as low as 1.99% APR and rebates up to $1,500 on select models. And get the Suzuki King Quad for 0% financing for up to 36 months for qualified buyers, plus up to $1,600 in customer cash. But that's not all. It's Honda Bonus Bucks with up to $200 in bonus bucks on accessories, the Honda Care Protection Plan, or use it for your down payment. See Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com.
Century Drug in Boger City is the first pharmacy in the area to offer peace of mind for you, your caregivers, and for your family with a convenient poly pouch, strip pouch system, just like the one you've seen on TV. You'll receive all your medications once a month in a box that dispenses a convenient, easy-to-open strip pouch that is perfectly labeled for breakfast, lunch, bedtime, etc. Call or come by for a visit today. 704-735-2551. Century Drug, East Main Street in Lincolnton.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Welcome back. Let's see. Mike's lyrics. I got them pretty quick. Brett got them pretty quick. Ned's the only answer I've got so far from the listeners this morning. Give them again, Mike.
How about Butch?
Nothing from Butch.
Okay, I'll give you 2 lines. I love the colorful clothes she wears and the way the sunlight plays upon her hair.
Yep, and that very fitting. That's a hint right there. Very fitting for lyrics this particular week. I should give you a really good. And Ned is right on the money, but we want to give some other folks a chance.
I'm going to have to go deep cuts on Ned one of these days. So he can't get it.
He did. I don't think he put. I may be telling you. I don't think he put the. No, he got it. He got both.
Name and song.
Yes.
Okay.
Artist and song. He sure did. Along the way there. God, we've been discussing so many weird things there, Mike. That's don't want to go without at least mentioning or talking a few minutes, especially with Brett, about the NBA playoffs. Because this appears to be.
It's going 6. It's going 6. We know that.
It appears to be one of the most even matchups.
I know.
Even though people wouldn't have thought so a month ago.
They were talking Thunder and 5.
One of the most even matchups that I remember in at least in recent NBA playoff finals history. Who would you take right now, Brett, at this point? Who would you take?
I guess
when he starts out by shaking his head.
I guess I would lean Oklahoma City just because they have 2 games at home out of the last 3. But
and SGA, right?
It would have been easy. Yeah. It would have been easy to pick who we thought would win. Had the Pacers won last night.
If somebody was up 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now is this when it goes? Is it 2-3-2?
No.
So it's going back now.
Yeah.
It's going back now to.
And Oklahoma City 9.5 point favorite for Game 5. That just seems high.
There's a wager on that.
There hadn't been.
It could drop though between now and game time. When is the next one? Monday.
Yeah.
That's a long time to wait, isn't it?
Yeah, the Game 3 and Game 4 were the only ones that were just 1 day off.
And that was only because they're in the same city, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Which they could do that between Games 1 and 2 also, but they didn't.
Okay. Is there certain days they like to make sure there's a game on?
Seemed like Wednesday night is.
I mean,
I don't know because this schedule touches about every. If it goes 7, it's going to fall on about every.
Is it?
Day.
When would it theoretically end, Brad, if it goes 7? What day? A month.
Sunday, June 22nd. Next Sunday.
A week from tomorrow.
Sunday.
A week from tomorrow.
So Monday. It's Monday, Thursday, Sunday is the schedule if it goes 7.
And then a week later, you got the draft, right?
Yeah.
29th.
Yeah, and I'm seeing Knipple possibly as high as 5th.
Wow. Who would have thought it?
Have you seen that? I just
still think it should have been him taking the shot against Houston, but hey,
that's easy to say.
Just me.
Easy to say.
Yeah, even if he didn't take the shot, I think he should have been making the play.
Well, they tried it 3 other times with flag, and it didn't work. But anyway, just me.
At least he did at least get a pretty good shot.
He did get a
off.
decent
He didn't
shot
turn it
off.
over like he did.
That's true.
A couple of other times.
That's a good point. He did get off a shot,
but. Yeah, that should have never came down to that final possession.
No.
They should have had that game wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Scott. Scott says, last night during the College World Series game, second row behind home plate, Bobby Dale and Drew Reynolds sitting and enjoying the game. Yeah,
yep.
I had a picture of him last year. He was sitting on the bottom right behind home plate. Bobby was, but yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Brett, have you got the score? See if you can find the scores quickly of the and the matchups. I'd like to see what the schedule is for today.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon, Coastal Carolina beat Arizona 7-4. It was tied going to the 8th, and Coastal scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th. And then last night, Oregon State beat Louisville 4-3. Louisville scored 2 in the top of the 9th to tie it, and then Oregon State won it in the bottom of the 9th. And today, Murray State and UCLA play at 2, and LSU and Arkansas at 7.
I want to ask you, okay, going in the Super Regionals to get to the World Series, Duke and North Carolina both had their opportunities.
They had their chance to get to Omaha.
If not one of those two being the biggest disappointment to not get there, who was?
Clemson.
Who was? Clemson.
Clemson.
They couldn't win out of the regional.
They got a baseball team?
They did.
But I meant somebody that was in the Super.
Oh, yeah, at least in the
What
Super.
team in the Super?
Because
North Carolina blasted Arizona.
Yeah, Carolina
the
had
first
to be
game.
the biggest.
That has to be the biggest.
But they were ranked.
But that's
5th
their
in the
history.
country.
I mean, how many?
Well, they get there usually, Mike.
They're very, very good at getting there. Yeah.
But this year, once they had Arizona 14-2, I thought, well, this is going to be,
I did too.
Maybe that's what they thought too, and that backfired on them.
And then Arizona came back, blasted them the next day, and then of course won Game 3, right?
And did Duke also win Game 1?
They did.
Yeah, I thought so.
They did.
They won Game 1 of their series, and also then lost 2 straight.
The third game was a 5-4 game, so yeah.
Who were the other teams, Brett, that didn't? Who else lost in the Super Regionals?
Louisville beat Miami.
Miami, yeah, 2 ACC teams. Yeah, that's right.
Was that an upset though? I mean,
no, it was at Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
LSU beat West Virginia.
Did Arkansas get there?
Arkansas beat Tennessee.
That's right.
Yeah, that's bad when you have to play against each other, and they're not.
And that was
ones,
at
but.
Arkansas, so they were the higher seed.
Yeah.
UCLA beat Texas San Antonio. That wasn't
Wouldn't
a surprise.
call that a.
Oregon State beat Florida State. Oregon State was at home in that one.
Yeah.
I think Duke and Carolina might have been the only home teams to lose. No,
Really?
Auburn. Coastal beat Auburn. That was at Auburn.
That was tough, yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, I think sentiment in this part of the country is hoping Coastal can do it again. When did they do it last time? It was around 2019 or something like that, wasn't it?
I can't remember the year, but it hasn't been too long ago.
No.
This is a good one here. I saw this last night, and Scott sends it to me again. This team is on a blank game winning streak.
That's Coastal, isn't it?
Yeah.
24 games.
24 straight wins.
It's hard to, that is hard to do.
Is that playing with pressure now or not? Or are you
I
just
don't
like
think
confidence?
Does
it create more confidence or more pressure?
I think confidence.
You know?
I don't think they think about
2016 when they won it.
16? That far ago? Okay.
Golly, 9 years.
And this is only their second appearance.
Really?
Will this be the year a team from the West wins it? They haven't won it in a while, have they? UCLA's in it. Oregon State's already won a game.
I can't just reel them off to you. I can't go backwards in the baseball and tell you who. I don't know who won it last year.
Tennessee.
Okay. I
the Vols.
I do remember that.
Yep.
That's all it took was just you saying
Yeah, there's
that.
been several different SEC
Tennessee
teams win lately.
As Roger will attest. Cranford.
And he should.
LSU won one. Did Florida win in the last few years?
I think they did.
Seemed like they did.
Yeah.
They have won one. I don't know how far back you have to go, but Florida
Mississippi
has
State
won
won
one.
recently.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
South Carolina's won.
Sounds like it's an SEC
Vanderbilt's
world.
won pretty
SEC
recently.
world.
Yeah. Which sport now are they not the best in? The SEC, that is.
Well,
They
based
didn't have
on
the
last
greatest-
year, they didn't have the greatest football season.
But I'm not gonna judge it just on 1 year.
All I know is the Big Ten rules
Yeah.
in football lately.
Yeah, the
Two straight.
last 5 champions have all been from the SEC.
In baseball?
And they've all been different schools.
Wow.
Yeah.
And 6 out of the last 7.
Gosh. I didn't
So
realize
who was
there was
the
that
one
kind of
that was
dominance.
not? Who was the one team there?
Oregon State won it
Oregon
in
State.
2018.
Yeah.
Oregon State gets there.
And
They
didn't
usually
that,
win,
they broke
seems
North
like.
Carolina's heart one time,
And they
didn't they? Or
beat
twice.
They beat them twice.
They beat Arkansas, so there's been an SEC team in the championship
Yeah, that Arkansas program's pretty stout.
the last 8 years.
I don't think they get enough credit.
Tennessee
I
won it
know.
last
That's
year.
That's a good program.
Yeah, it is.
LSU
Baseball.
before that. Ole
LSU
Miss
won it.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, Oregon
gosh.
State,
Gosh.
Florida.
Mm. Would it be easier to name the SEC teams that haven't won the
Yeah.
baseball title in the last 15 years? That's
Bama?
yeah.
Just guessing.
Yeah, Alabama's not known for their baseball, I guess.
No.
But the basketball has shown up here
Oh,
lately.
yeah.
It's been pretty stout.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Coastal Carolina 2016, but the SEC has won the last 7, I think. That comes from Lenny. Scott says in men's track this year, Texas and Texas A&M won the national championships and beat Arkansas by 1 point.
Gosh. Well, let's look at the other sports. Texas won it in softball just recently.
Yeah, SEC now.
SEC, and my Sooners won it in women's gymnastics. That's SEC now.
Mike's wearing a shirt today.
I got fear of the
National
horn.
Gymnastics Champion.
Yeah, followed that very closely.
Yeah, South Carolina's, they were in 2010 and 11. They won back-to-back.
Yeah, that goes back that far now.
Yeah, and then Oregon State's wins over Carolina were 06 and 07.
Yeah. Will
So who are the only
Will
schools?
Carolina ever reach the promised land?
Who's
in
the only
baseball?
schools to ever win the national championship in the 3 major sports,
Ooh,
which would be
good-
baseball,
good
football,
one.
and basketball?
Good
And I
question.
know 2 of
Well,
those.
I think we just did this a
we
few
did,
weeks ago. It's
but 2
Florida.
of them were for a long time, and those 2 were not what you would think for baseball. They were Ohio State and Michigan have won
Yeah.
it and won it on all 3. But somebody else who added to that, Florida, and that may be all that have won a national title in those 3 major sports. Lenny says 2018, Oregon State won it with Adley Rushman.
Yeah, the Orioles catcher.
Okay, Adley Rushman, the Orioles catcher. So he went from wearing black and orange to black and orange.
Now, who were the 2 you said that have won it in all 3 again?
I don't know
Football,
what I don't know
baseball.
what Rodney means here. His answer was wrestling and hockey.
Oh.
I don't know.
They
I
won
guess
in
that's what
hockey,
the
too?
SEC's not.
Not
Yeah.
good
Winning.
at.
True.
Yeah, that's
Penn
true.
State's one of your wrestling programs. Iowa's one
Iowa,
of your top
yeah.
wrestling.
Iowa.
Hockey's got to be up around Boston and in the New England states, I would guess. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe even
Midwest.
Ohio and Michigan. But for hockey, yeah, that would be
Well,
some that
the Carolina can always fall back on their women's soccer team, right?
Is it as dominant as it once was?
I think they're still dominant.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
What are they going to do with their 20.5 mil? How much do you think they'll give to women's soccer at Carolina? I mean, $1 million? They deserve more.
You got me. I'm stunned here. I'm stumped. I no way I'll be able to answer that question.
It's going to be interesting to see how they divvy it up at these schools, isn't it? That 24.5 million cap.
I'm just as shocked that women's soccer was brought up on the show this morning.
And I also brought up women's gymnastics. What's next?
Rodney says, "Thank you, Brett, for the translation about the sports they're not good at."
But Carolina won it.
I bet if they focused on those sports being good, look out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolina won it in 2024. Women's soccer.
Women's soccer, okay.
Before that, you have to go back to 2012 when they last won it.
Yeah, okay.
Looks like Florida State's been the dominant team recently.
Have they? Okay.
They've won 4 in the last 12 years.
Wow, that is.
And yes, Scott, I communicated with Todd last night a little bit. He was at Fenway. Him and Micah, his wife, were at Fenway last night, and communicated with him a little bit. But he got to see a good one, got his money's worth. I
He
watched
sure
most of
did.
the
What a game.
It is.
Judge strikes out 3 times, 4th time's the charm.
It's good to have that NESN channel if you like Boston sports. So And I watched. Of
you
course,
got
that
to-
one last night was on the MLB network too.
Well,
Anytime they play the Yankees,
They're going to be on the MLB.
they're going to be on something.
Yeah.
They're going to be
Count
on
on it.
something. The game's going to be nationally televised for everybody to see. But that was a strange game. I mean, a lot of baseball.
yeah.
A lot of baseball games are very strange, indeed. But I've seen a lot of errors this year in late inning play decide outcomes of a lot of games, which not 100% why that's happening. You know, a lot of the stuff is the fundamentals and the basics. You know, of knowing what to cover, who to throw to, who rotations and stuff like that. It's not as good as it used to be.
But on the other hand, on defensive plays, was it a Rockies outfielder that made the incredible play recently?
Mm-mm. You talking about the climbing the wall?
Climbing
in
the
the
wall.
outfield?
Who was that?
Was it Oakland?
Oakland, that's right. It was.
I'm not
Athletics.
sure. I can't
yeah,
remember.
I think it was.
I can see the guy climbing the
An
wall
unbelievable play.
and making the catch.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the home ballpark. It was.
No.
They were on the road.
On the road.
Did you see it, Brett?
No.
Really?
It was.
It's play of the
amazing.
year. It was play of the year.
It's right up.
Nothing's going to beat it.
No, I don't see how it could
For the
for
player
drama.
Yeah.
And he was so close to going out of the ballpark, right? I mean,
himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he timed it right. He got the leverage at the right time. And when he caught the ball, he was probably his glove was probably 5-6 feet above the wall.
Oh yeah.
When he made the catch.
As far as wall catches go,
somebody help us. Was it with?
I think it was the Athletics.
Was it with Oakland or and which ballpark were they in?
Mm-hmm.
That would have been like what, Wednesday night, Thursday night, maybe.
Yeah.
That happened. Not 100% sure.
It was definitely made the ESPN top 10.
Well, it's going to be in.
I think it's all time.
It's going to be in the running for play of the year.
Yeah, I think you're
I don't know
right.
if it's all time. There's a lot of good ones, but
when you think all time, do you go Willie Mays basket catch at the wall? I don't know.
I hate to say
Looks
it.
like it was Denzel Clark of the A's.
Denzel Clark of the A's, yeah.
It was Denzel because I remember the name being Denzel because that is associated with a star.
Of course. That's right.
And they were in what ballpark?
The Angels.
Angels ballpark.
Yeah, that's right, because they got the fake rocks, or maybe it's real rocks out there. And that's what he was climbing on, it looked like.
Yeah.
Basically climbing on those rocks.
He was right in front of him. I've just watched the video.
Yeah. It's a pretty good catch, right?
Yeah.
Best one in recent memory, anyway. And, boy, they need something to – the A's are one of those teams that need something to give them a little exposure on TV.
I still feel bad for the city of Oakland across the bay, though, in a way.
Yeah, and across the board.
Yeah, and everything, right?
Yeah, right. Basketball team moved to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And the baseball team and the football team moved to Vegas, or in the process of moving to Vegas if they're not. And that's just, you know.
I guess I'm just nostalgic for the way it was. The 70s and 80s.
I wish the Raiders would have moved back to L.A.
Yes.
And a different team would have moved to Vegas, like the Chargers would have moved to Vegas.
I
would have
agree
been
with that.
ideal.
Yep. Yeah. Well, you know what happened there, though, is the Chargers made the call first, didn't they? I think they made the call before the Raiders realized they were going to move again.
Yeah.
And you can't have three teams in Los Angeles.
But I don't think LA's ever really going to back the Chargers.
They're not.
Because that's still I bet there's still more Raider fans
easily.
in LA than Charger fans.
Yep.
And probably more than the Rams.
And even the
Rams
Raiders
fans.
is a national brand where the Chargers are not. I mean, the Raiders, they're going to sell out Vegas too, but it's just not going to be like a home crowd. You know, for the most part, it's just not going to be like a home crowd.
I mean, is there a home crowd in Vegas? Because Vegas is such a touring city.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll take a while. It'll take a while for any team to really.
But at one time, it was the fastest growing city, which means people are moving there. And I don't know if it's still the fastest growing city in America or not. Who are the three baseball players that grew up in the same neighborhood?
Well, Bryce Harper's from Vegas.
Yep. And there was two others in that neighborhood. One played for the Cubs in their World Series.
You don't hear from a lot of players who say they grew up in Vegas, do you?
You don't.
You just don't hear it.
No, but there were
Chris
three.
Bryant. He was
Chris
the
Bryant,
Cub.
I think that was one. And then,
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo.
Those three grew up in the same neighborhood.
Whoa,
Probably had some good pickup games.
Man, street ball was good in those days.
I hope all three of them weren't on the same team whenever they chose
It
up.
wouldn't be fair.
And I wouldn't want to be the one that had to play against the other two either, for that matter.
Did they play for the Legion team?
That would have been strong.
They must not.
Yeah, that would have been stout in Legion baseball, for sure. Vegas, Vegas came to Gerald or Shelby.
They won the first one.
Came
the
to
first
Shelby.
one that was in Shelby.
Yeah. Yeah, but that wasn't one of the ones since they got it permanent, right?
No.
They won it
Yeah.
standalone, and then there was a couple years later when
Yeah.
Shelby got all of them. So, yeah. Lenny says North Carolina maybe can't win the CWS, but the rest of the ACC can't either.
That's true.
2 titles, Wake Forest 1955, and who do you think the other one was? It's been way more recent.
I remember Virginia
Yeah.
winning it
Yeah.
recently.
2015, which has still been 10 years ago now. And he says Duke's last appearance was in 61. I don't know if that was their only appearance, but he said that was their last appearance was in 1961. Who is the coach of Duke baseball right now? I don't know. I saw something the other day, and they were talking about what a good job he did on the year, but I can't recall. I don't think I recognized the name. Butch says, didn't Bo make a catch running up the wall one time?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he did. Bo Jackson is best known for 2 things, running up the wall and running through the tunnel.
Yep.
After a long touchdown in the other sport.
What year was that he ran through the tunnel?
Had to be around 90, mid-80s to 90, because I don't know.
Do you think that's where they got the
I
idea?
am not
Was that
good.
before Forrest Gump or afterwards? I mean, I'm just trying to connect it.
Probably before.
I think it was before.
Yeah.
I think it was
because
before.
Forrest ran out of the stadium at Alabama, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Different reasons, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forrest was scared, I think.
He was scared.
Yeah, he just ran because he's scared. Bo was not scared.
Those 3 guys from Las Vegas, they all played at different high schools.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's not shocking.
Gallo played at the famous Bishop Gorman High School.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas usually has. Their Legion teams, have, like you say, have been to the World Series before.
Yeah. They're bound to have multiple teams, though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Bound to have
different,
multiple teams
different.
in
a
a city.
Chris Bryant
that
played.
size.
He went
It wouldn't
to
be. It would be
Bonanza High School.
Bonanza.
Hoss Cartwright was
the Bonanza.
Little Joe.
Bonanza Bengals.
The Bonanza Bengals. That'd be neat.
And then Bryce Harper went to Las Vegas High School.
I'm not a hot weather fan, so I have no desire.
Not me either.
To be playing.
No desire at all
in Vegas. Anything in Vegas.
I've been there.
It's hot, isn't it?
When it was 70 in L.A. and it was 98 in Vegas.
At night.
Oh yeah.
At night, they get that kind of heat, and it just don't go away. I'll
tell you a hot place, Yuma, Arizona.
I don't like it very much.
Arizona. It's dry though, Mike. It's dry. That's what to say about all of them. It's dry. I got some comments coming in. Brett's gonna get his lyrics ready. We're gonna do those. I'll read these comments real quick while he is. I know he's already ready because he always is. But let's see a couple things I wanted to read real quick. Richard says Coach Pollard of Duke just went to Virginia to be their head coach.
I'll try to abandon Duke.
And so at the end, after they got knocked out, he's already signed with Duke. With Virginia.
Just like the football coach did. What was his name? Kelso? Mike Kelso?
If you say so.
He went to Texas A&M, right?
Elko.
Elko. I'm sorry, yes.
Richard says Pollard was the Appalachian coach many years before Duke. I remember when he went from App to Duke. A couple more things here. Scott says, I think Duke baseball coach took the Virginia job. Yes, that's exactly right. After they got beat. Virginia does have a better history. Their baseball, there you go. They've got a national title for one thing.
That's true.
Rodney says, speaking of unbelievable catches, all right, I'll have to check the video out in between that he sent me while we're on a commercial break here. And Lenny says, let's see. Make sure I've already read those other ones. Yes, I have. Duke coach just left to go to Virginia, Chris Pollard. So we're getting the Chris Pollard report.
Now, they made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
Probably so. He's proven to be a good coach.
Oh,
if you can win games at Duke.
That's right.
In baseball,
and they've been pretty good for the last couple of years.
A pretty good coach. All right, Brett, what you got?
He's going deep cuts on us.
Yes, he is. He had another Beach Boys.
He did.
What was your Beach Boys song going to be?
Well, you want the lyrics?
No,
or
you
want
can just
just give us
the
song.
Don't worry, baby.
Don't worry, baby. Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that deep cut '90s song because nobody's going to get it.
Nobody's going to get
it.
No. All right.
I wouldn't say nobody. We got some.
I'm going to 1982.
We got some deep cutters out there.
82.
1982.
Just one line for now. I'll give a second one when we come back if nobody gets it.
If we need it.
Okay.
I walk a lonely avenue.
Ooh.
Back in a moment.
Okay.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
What we have seen and heard, we proclaim to you also, so that you too may have fellowship with us. And indeed, our fellowship is with the Father and with His Son, Jesus Christ. 1 John 1:3. Come join us at Rhine Heights Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school at 10 and worship at 11. Follow us on Facebook. You are invited to worship and fellowship with us at Rhine Heights Methodist Church.
Western Steer Family Steakhouse in Newton has the best food around. Their buffet is like no other. Fried chicken, meatloaf, baked chicken, beef tips with peppers and onions, pintos and macaroni cheese, green beans, yams, and the best salad bar around. Hours of business Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Western Steer Family Steakhouse, 334 Southwest Boulevard, Newton. Call for takeouts at 704-325-3926. Like them on Facebook.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes and Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook too.
This is Creighton Kell with Kell Insurance. We have been helping people for over 25 years with all their Medicare needs. We represent the same national and local companies as the insurance agencies you see on TV. And you know what? We can sit down with you one-on-one and help you find the right plan just for you.
Kell Insurance is located beside the Cultural Center and behind Gillum Realty in downtown Lincoln. 107 North Cedar Street. Call 704-732-4646 and follow them on Facebook. Kell Insurance.
Welcome back. Brett with the lyrics this morning. I've got some answers here, and I don't want to look at them yet because I want to see if I can get this with, and this may not be answers. I'm guessing it is because it's Butch and Ned.
Oh, you were thinking about that. I walk these lonely streets.
Yes, I was thinking Green Day, but that was in the 90s. So this is an 80s song. He said it come from 1982, and he's going to give us the lyrics plus a little more.
I walk a lonely avenue. I never thought I'd meet a girl like you.
Oh.
That sounds like
82. That was the era of
I
MTV.
ran so far away. Is it?
Yep.
Oh. Is that a flock of seagulls?
Flock of seagulls. I ran so far.
I'm glad I
away.
waited on that next line.
I knew it had to be a new wave band from Britain. That whole era, the early 80s.
Love the hair.
Yeah. Great hairdo.
I
ran so far away.
Let's see. Butch says, I walk a lonely avenue. Is that what Brett said? Yeah, that was the lyrics. So I couldn't have stole it there. And Ned says, do not know Brett's lyrics. So I couldn't get it on the first little bit, but that second part. Say it again. Say those lyrics again.
I walk a lonely avenue. I never thought I'd meet a girl like you.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Flock of seagulls.
Yep. I ran so far away. I remember that song. They had a couple hits, didn't they?
Yeah.
Back in the...
Trying to think what else they had besides that one.
Hairdos.
Yeah.
They had the hair because it looked like a long blonde mohawk. In a way.
Does anybody remember Modern English? What was their hit?
Getting back to our sports, Mike, I want you to help on this. What did you say about Modern English?
What was their big hit from that era?
English.
I melt with you.
I melt with
is
you.
It? Yeah. That is? Yeah. Yeah. Not Tainted Love by Soft Cell.
Tainted Love, yeah.
Oh, but the other one, the deep cut 90s song I was going to give you. Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop.
Oh. 90s deep cut.
And there's a reason I was going to give that one, but I just figured nobody's going to get that, so I'll leave that one.
Were they a Seattle-based band?
They're Canadian.
What was the reason? Maybe we can get it because of the reason.
The name of the song
had something to do with
the Beach Boys.
Oh, okay.
Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson is the name of the song.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
Brian Wilson is the name.
It was.
I would have never got it.
Kind of a tribute to him.
Tribute to
I
Brian.
never knew there was a song called
Brian
Wilson. So
Bare Naked Ladies.
Is
Bare
it?
Naked Ladies. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
And
what was Bare
even
Naked Ladies' big hit? They had a big one out there that was
1 week.
1 week since you something.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Yeah.
But he even started singing that song in some of his solo concerts.
Did he?
Yeah, he met the Bare Naked Ladies and they performed it for him, and he liked it, and he started doing it. So
I downloaded one of his albums. He did some of the Beach Boys hits and some of his own songs at the piano. It was just the piano and him.
Was Brian Wilson known for writing any big time hits that weren't done by the Beach Boys?
I don't know.
I don't know the answer. I'm not trying to get you to guess one. I'm just trying to. It seems like he was, but I can't think of what they might have been. Got a couple things I want to read here from the. Now we've got listeners relaying questions to other listeners.
Oh, that's a new one.
I love it. Lenny says, "This is my answer. This is my question, not an answer. This is my question for Richard Howe. Do you think Josh Jordan will leave LSU to take the Duke job, or will he wait it out? Jay Johnston at LSU. Will he wait out on that job? I guess is what he means there. Wait out on Jay Johnston's job at LSU, and that is.
So I guess that's an assistant coach at LSU. But Duke is
maybe
looking for a coach.
Do you?
I got a coaching question for Brett on the NBA. What are the Knicks going to do? I mean, the people they want are off limits, right? Those teams will not allow the Knicks to talk to their coaches.
I don't really know. I don't know what the Knicks are.
They mentioned Mike Brown, who was Sacramento?
He's been all over, yeah. He was the Cavs coach for a while when LeBron was there. He was an assistant under Steve Kerr with the Warriors for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He did coach Sacramento. He's
I think Ned is wanting me to relay this message to Mike.
Go ahead.
Don't touch me, please. I cannot stand the way you. And that's all it says.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing that's lyrics of a
the
song.
Lyrics to a song.
But I don't know. It says, "Don't touch me, please.
Don't touch me, please.
I cannot stand the way you." ..
That's Tainted Love.
Is it? Don't touch
Tainted
me.
Love, Soft Cell.
Yeah. I got you. He was firing back at me because I'd mentioned Soft Cell.
Oh, did you? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I mentioned Soft Cell.
Well, can Ned name Simple Minds' greatest hit?
Don't You Forget About Me.
Yep.
I can.
You can.
I have a simple mind.
That's the.
You got me in that early '80s vibe.
The Breakfast Club.
Is it?
Song?
Breakfast Club. That's right.
And Scott says you're going to like this, Mike.
Okay.
And myself and Lanny. I've got to give y'all a compliment. The Lincoln Times sports coverage is great compared to all the other local papers.
Yeah, how about our spread on North Lincoln, baby?
The last couple of weeks, pictures and articles have been wonderful. Great job, guys.
Hey, thank you, Scott.
Thanks to Scott.
We don't get much praise.
Acknowledge it. And we're returning. I like the way Scott brings the papers home.
That's right. Yeah, he's got a vested
He's still doing
interest.
that, right? Where'd Lanny go? He's hiding in there.
He's got a vested interest. He delivers our
That's
papers.
Right.
This says Brian Wilson.
Without traveling quite as far now.
He did write some songs that other people
I was thinking
performed,
maybe he
but
had
I don't
not
know,
a hit.
I don't know any of them.
Okay.
Well, see,
Okay.
he had a lot of mental problems, drug problems after Pet Sounds came out, and he kept working on this one album called Smile, which was he never finished until like the 2000s. So
Okay, I'm going to ask you, Mike, and Brett can probably weigh in on this too, because I don't, I don't have the answer. But what everybody talks about, one of the greatest people in the music business of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
You talking about Brian Wilson?
I think it's just his writing style and genius.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I gathered it was.
I mean, Pet Sounds was not one of their best-selling albums when it came out. It was really different, but it was a big influence on the Beatles.
Yeah.
Particularly Sgt. Pepper's, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Beatles took a lot from
They did.
Brian
Okay.
Wilson.
Well, that would put you in that category then, without a doubt.
Actually, one of the first songs Brian wrote, he gave it to Jan and Dean. I'm trying to think of the name of that. It had something to do with surfing.
And they sounded a lot like
the
Beach
sounded a
Boys.
lot like the Beach Boys.
They really did.
I mean, you couldn't tell it if you
Right.
didn't know.
Yep. Yeah, and I think you had to hear the song a couple times before you
Yeah,
realized,
because the harmonies were there, just like with the
Mhm.
Beach Boys.
And the Love member of the Beach Boys, he
Mike
just
Love.
died not long ago.
Did he pass it?
Yeah.
Mike Love?
Yeah, Kevin Love's dad.
Is it really? I never knew that.
I didn't either. Well, see, he was.
You just threw one on me there. He's Kevin Love's
Or maybe
dad.
it's
I don't think Mike Love's dead.
maybe it was his brother.
Might be.
That's Kevin Love's dad. Maybe that's what it is.
Mike Love was a first cousin to the Wilsons.
Okay.
There were three of them in the band: Brian Wilson, Dennis Wilson. God, what was the other brother's name? They started the band. I can't think of his name right now.
And where does are they kin to the Wilson Phillips?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wilson.
I know
Wilson.
the other group that figured into that was the Mamas.
The
and
Wilson
Papas.
in that is the daughter of Brian Wilson.
Okay.
And the Phillips she's the daughter of Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and Papas.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was some
Stan
kind of
Love.
problem.
Stan Love is the brother of Mike Love, and
Is he?
that's Kevin Love's dad.
See, I didn't know that.
And he just died a couple weeks ago.
I didn't know he was
Stan
the brother
Love.
of Mike Love.
Where does Buddy Love fall in?
And he,
Yeah, where's Buddy Love in all this?
And Stan Love was an NBA player.
Oh man.
In the 70s.
Got a couple messages here coming through. Lenny says, "Have I done started something with relaying messages through the show?"
Yeah.
Hey, not a problem on my end, that's for sure. Pretty good color photo of Carson pitching for post 100 in the LTN, says Ned.
Yeah, I saw that
Yes,
one.
it was. That was a good one, and that's a
Joey
a
Brymer.
Joey Brymer photo.
Joey Brymer photo.
And then Butch says Carl.
Yeah, he was the other Wilson.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to make sure I didn't miss any.
Yeah,
Butches.
Carl Wilson, that's right. And they had a good friend they invited into the band named Al Jardine, so that was your original Beach Boys.
I thought you were going to say
Al Jarreau.
Al Jarreau.
Charles Manson.
Oh.
Dennis Wilson, I think, tried to invite him in.
Yeah, he did. Did Manson try to get Dennis Wilson to record one of his albums or something? Or
There was something. Something weird going on with Dennis Wilson and
well, he drowned.
Manson.
Somebody texted me this week and said something about that. I don't know if it was Brett or Mike or somebody else, but somebody, because I'd never heard that before.
Oh, yeah,
Somebody
Manson was
said,
a frustrated
maybe it was Lenny.
songwriter.
It might have even been Lenny that sent me something and said something about the
Yeah,
Manson connection.
There was a friendship there with
there
Dennis Wilson.
There was
and
something there with Dennis Wilson.
Dennis Wilson's even in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood just for a. Well, it's not Dennis Wilson. It's somebody playing Dennis
is he?
Wilson. But
I have to go back and
just
look
for
at
a
that,
second.
yeah.
That's a pretty weird movie. I did watch it.
Yeah, Manson was a
Manson,
frustrated songwriter. Right.
But yeah, when he sent those people to the Polanski Tate residence,
He was mad.
He was
because
looking for a record producer.
Yeah, Terry Melcher.
Yeah.
He was looking for a record producer to.
But that guy
wreak
had
vengeance
lived
on him.
Had lived in that house and had moved out.
And that's right.
Yep. Don't let up. I'm looking for something right now. You
Sharon
guys
Tate and her friends were
continue
just
the,
there by chance.
By
And
chance.
that's,
Yeah, that's right.
Bad
I think,
chance.
I think Manson had just ordered his, whatever you want to call them, his people to kill everybody in that house.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Melcher guy was who.
That's who he was looking for.
The main person
right?
he was
That's who,
wanting killed.
Yeah.
Lenny says Mike Love was Kevin Love's uncle.
Okay.
Yeah, is.
He is.
Butch says.
Yeah, I tried to.
You were trying to
kill him
off
off,
Mike
but
Love.
Yeah, he still is his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Butch says it was drugs. Okay. What? I don't know what that answers, but it could answer a lot of things.
Yeah, any of those people we're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was drugs. That seems to still be a big part of American culture. Unfortunately,
I guess Brian Wilson got over his drug addiction and
eventually. Well, and then too, he was diagnosed with I don't know.
Mental illness.
Mental
or something.
illness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In case you are wondering, I'll get back to the messages just a minute. I want to go through this real quick. Let's see. On Thursday night, Burke County and Rutherford met in American Legion Baseball. Rutherford a 3-2 winner in 8 innings. Caldwell and Gastonia game was suspended. Caldwell leading 7-2 in the 4th inning when that game was suspended. We have seen a lot of suspended games this year, and we're only touching the surface, right? We're not even touching
it's so messed up.
There are going to be so many rainouts, at some point, some of these games might be played as doubleheaders. They might even be played as 5 o'clock games because the storms are more likely to be, about game time, the way it looks. Also, Shelby was playing in a West Virginia tournament on Thursday night. They beat St. Clairsville, West Virginia, 6-1. Then last night, Caldwell County and Wilkes County, guess what? Postponed. I'm guessing weather.
Of course.
Then the Gaston Braves and Asheville, a tight one. Asheville wins over the Gaston Braves 9-8. Rutherford County and Hickory. This one surprised me, Mike. Doubleheader sweep by Hickory.
Yeah, Hickory. All of a sudden.
5-4 and 11-7.
I saw them the other night against Cherville in a game that was shortened to 5 innings by rain.
And it was close, right?
Yeah, 5-2.
Yeah.
It was a competitive game. I tell you what surprises me, guys, looking at the standings. How about Asheville? 4-1 and 6-1.
But, well, yeah. Didn't I just say that they had a lot? No, they won that game on here over Gaston 9-8.
And they also beat Cherryville.
Yes.
Earlier, 8-1 at
Yes,
Where are
they
they
did.
playing their home games? East Henderson, West Henderson, somewhere up there.
You got that part right.
One or the other, right?
Somewhere up there.
Is there a North Henderson? I don't know.
I think there is a north,
Yeah.
but not a
Believe it.
south.
Yeah.
Not a south. The south got left out.
Yep.
I wanted to go ahead and give you the current standings and courtesy Richard Walker, and you
Oh,
can
yeah,
always go
always.
and look at his Carolina
Always
Sports
courtesy
Hub.
of Richard.
Yep, does a good job keeping us
The
up to date.
official.
Shelby leads the way. I'm not going to do overall. Shelby leads the way at 4-1. Asheville is also 4-1. Cherryville post 100 right in the mix at 5-2. Gastonia 5-3. Burke County 2-2. Rutherford County 3-4. Caldwell County is also no, they're 2-3, not
Right.
3-4. They're 2-3. Hickory is now 3-6 after the doubleheader sweep. The Gaston Braves are 2-4, and Wilkes County, brand new team this year.
Yeah.
Still not bad though. They're 2-6, and they do have 5 wins overall.
Yeah, you figure they might struggle a little bit, new team. But how about the Gaston Braves? They've only played 6 games, and they're 2-4.
Yeah. I
Usually,
thought they struggled a little bit last year too, Mike.
Did they?
It seems like, yeah, but usually right there in the mix. And there's a long way to go.
Oh, yeah.
They could be right there in the mix before it's all, especially once you hit the playoffs. I mean, when you hit the playoffs, it's anybody's game.
It's
then.
anybody's game.
These
yeah.
games are just basically just to for
Prelim.
seeding. You
Yeah,
know, these games are
they
just
are.
basically for seeding, and then you have to win those series in the playoffs if you want to have a shot. And Area 4 is the host. Cherryville is the host. So Area 4, all these good teams, only one going to make it.
Only one going to make it.
Only one going to make it. So that makes it
Going to be tough.
It is tough. It is tough, and it should be. You know, it should be tough. But you know, we have seen years when 2 teams earn their way in, 3 teams even at times when Area 4 hosts, and it's not their year to host. They get 3 teams in the state tournament.
I think the Cherryville Juniors are still undefeated.
Really?
I believe that's right.
Well, that's always a good sign
Yeah.
as well.
They got some good players on that team. That a couple regulars from Cherryville High and some other guys. Well, and a kid from North Lincoln state championship team, and Blake Mincy.
Right. That's good. I want to mention this real quick. Tonight, Saturday, June the 14th. You ever seen the movie called Saturday the 14th?
I have not.
There's some kind of comedy / horror.
Yeah,
That
Saturday the 14th.
If you think Friday the 13th's bad.
Try Saturday the 14th.
Yeah. Yeah. Been a long time since I saw that movie, though. And it's not a must-see. I'll just tell you that.
Figured it wouldn't be.
It is not. But today, the Gaston Braves will host Burke County at East Gaston High School. Shelby is still playing in the West Virginia tournament. They'll play Wheeling this morning at 11, and they'll play Lancaster, West Virginia at 1:30 today. On Sunday, a few more division games. You've got Gaston Braves at Burke, Rutherford County at Caldwell County, Wilkes County at Statesville. Shelby still continuing in the West Virginia tournament. Monday, Caldwell at Rutherford, Hickory at Gastonia, Shelby at Burke, and Cherryville gets back in action on Tuesday with Caldwell coming to town. Always draws a crowd when Caldwell County comes to Cherryville.
Yeah, there's still a flicker of the old rivalry there. You know, be interested to see if Cherryville can pick it back up. They won their last 3 games. You know, this little 5-6 day break, they can pick it back up next week once the Reynolds get back from Omaha.
Let's see. Lenny says, I sent you that about Manson. I saw something on TV about him hanging out with the family. Yeah, it was Lenny that sent me that earlier in the week. It's weird. Jason says, I tuned in late. Did you mention Sly Stone passed away earlier this week? We absolutely did, along with Brian Wilson, and last week it was Rick Derringer. Yep.
Going to take you higher.
Pretty much three in 1 week.
Sly's,
thank you,
when he
Jason.
played Woodstock, that was one of his big songs from there.
Post 70 plays at West Henderson, says Ned. They play at West Henderson.
He would know as Area 4 commish.
And that's where we did a football game, right?
Yeah, North Lincoln.
Yeah, we
North
did.
Lincoln
This
and
past
West
year.
Henderson.
We sure did.
Also, the unbeaten Post 100 junior team is at Shelby at 4 o'clock
today.
Yeah.
I got to get that story we were talking
today.
about.
Butch Parker puts the word eating with a question mark on here, which is the biggest text, the most important text
Most
of the
important
day.
text of the day.
Yes,
It
Butch,
will be.
And it appears there will be 4 from here, if I'm not mistaken. At least 4 from here. That would be Mike, Brett, Lanny, and myself joining Butch at breakfast, which is just around the corner. Any major thoughts or anything? Butch says
I have one thought back to baseball. Post 100 put a banner up inside the stadium at Fraley honoring Danny Aker for 40 years of broadcasting.
Yep, well-deserved.
Well-deserved, yes.
Yep. Think of the amount of days Danny has shown up to do that, much less the amount of hours that he's put in.
And let's also think about Cherryville High School games, plus Cherryville Post 100 Juniors games, which he's also done in the past.
Yeah, a lot.
And he's still doing a little radio with Ken Lee.
Yep. High school, Legion, and Junior Legion.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's and that, that, Mike, that basically begins late February.
Yeah.
Maybe early March, but late February. And
So you're talking
goes
6-7 months. Goes through August. Yeah.
Goes through August. Get you to high school football. Takes
you
all the way to high school football.
Ends it. I guess and he's done some World Series games on the air too.
No. If I'm not mistaken,
in Shelby.
69 days to kickoff. If I'm not, does that sound right? I think it was 10 weeks from yesterday will be the high school kickoff to the football season. And this is I'll just go ahead and give you the heads up. It's going to be one of the most different seasons we've ever experienced.
Yeah, with 8 classifications.
In high school football. New conferences, which I think this will be the last 4 years of conferences. May be wrong.
You eventually think we're going RPI, and you make up
we're
your
going
own
RPI.
schedule.
You know how soon we're going RPI?
Well, I know we're
in
going
just a couple months.
Couple months, yeah. But I mean, as far as you just make up your own schedule and everything.
Teams can make their own schedule. Don't worry about conferences, and RPI takes care of the rest. RPI's it.
I think
winning a conference now
is
in any sport.
Well, what are you going to hang in your trophy case?
Will not get you a 1
It
seed.
won't. No.
Well, if you start making your own schedules, there won't be a.
Will not be conference championship
I think you should.
trophies.
I think if you if the schools are forming their own conferences, Mike, you just buy a trophy if you go 10-0. Get yourself a trophy if you go 10-0, or even if you go 9-1. I don't know what you'd call it. It wouldn't be.
Well, then in the future, then you would be out of a job. I know you're no longer going to be a conference commissioner, but you were.
Well, yeah, but somebody's still got to do that work. I don't know how that would. I don't know how that would work.
No,
if
no,
there are no.
Somebody's got to. Yeah, I know.
Maybe one per county. Somebody does a county.
What was the toughest job you had as conference commissioner? Getting the trophies? No, schedule had to be scheduled.
We'll answer that at breakfast.
You probably got a long list of
not for prime time
worries on that one.
It's not bad, Mike. It's just the little things yet.
Yeah. How do you please ADs and coaches? Wow.
Yeah, that's a riddle. Hey, it's not that hard. Let me tell you the thing that helped me. I had a great group of athletic directors.
That always helps.
Great group of athletic directors, and Butch will attest to that. We had a great group of athletic.
So our new guys coming in, of course, Lavelle Hall is going to do.
He's just moving. He's coming with the part of conference he already had.
Right.
And we'll,
And Scott Harrell is also.
He's going to be involved as
well.
Going
to be involved with the Southern Piedmont 2A, 3A, 4A, right? I think that's what it's called.
I'm real quick before we go off. Ned says, commish, not a bad deal. Lots of hours of fussing and no pay.
Oh, that's right.
That was Ned's words, not mine. For Brett, Mike, I'm David. See you next week.